The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.
A story coming to us from Venezuela. Kind of funny, kind of not at the same time. They have an energy crisis.
Yeah. It's funny only to the extent that they deny having this problem.
Well, they are not really denying it if the president tells women to stop blow drying their hair, right? I mean,
They have denied it.
They have denied it. But it's a reality. And the thing is that almost all of their power comes from one hydroelectric plant, 70%. And it's a dam, of course, but there are dropping water levels. And, well, here we are. So, yes, the president, Nicolas Maduro, said, I think it looks better when a woman runs her fingers through her hair and lets it dry naturally.
Yeah.
And hey, maybe that's a good reason to stop blow drying your hair. Some people pointing out that if women have to stop blow drying their hair, see, I could have sworn I muted this thing.
Wow.
The volume is off. Okay. Let's see if I can pause this video. This thing sucks. Piece of crap Samsung. Oh, it's fine. Okay. Now what was I saying? Yes, if you have to tell women to stop blow drying their hair, it's already too late. You're already screwed. That's not going to make a huge difference. But they're urging people. The government is urging people to turn up the temperature on their air conditioners, make changes to try and deal with this. Now, there are people saying that, well, people admitting that they've said, we've had research that we've been warned about this. We knew this was going to happen.
Right.
Things could have been done to prevent this, and didn't seem the president cared. And so here you are. I mean, this doesn't mean that it's the end of the end of the world, but this is having an impact. I mean, now you have issues at grocery stores. You have issues anywhere. Refrigeration is important.
That's how these things can sort of spiral, which is when you start having power outages or power restrictions at grocery stores, and you have the sort of chain of cold broken with foods that need to be refrigerated. Food starts spoiling. People start getting sick. They go to hospitals. The hospitals get overloaded, and they're also energy restricted. So now their ability to treat the patients, you can see how it can sort of snowball. Yeah,
it is one of those things. I mean, electricity is kind of like our nervous system.
Yeah.
And it's so I'm glad I don't have to deal with that.
Now, there's nothing wrong with advising conservation of energy, right? I mean, if we had everybody consciously limiting electricity use and water use and whatever, who can argue that that would be a bad thing? So I don't think that the criticism of what's going on in Venezuela is, hey, we want to save electricity. It's just sort of the general way in which, on the one hand, there's been for years a denial that there's any issues whatsoever with any of what many first world countries take for granted, be it electricity or toilet paper or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. And then it's all sort of put out there in the most sort of PR-friendly way that they can do, which, of course, any country would do that, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
It's just been interesting to see the sort of standpoint evolve over time.
Mm-hmm. And so, please, by all means, let's save energy in as many ways we possibly can.
Yeah.
That's just a good thing.
No doubt.
It's just ridiculous when the president has to try and back this up by saying, I prefer the look of a woman's hair when it's dried with...
That's where it gets silly.
Yeah. All right. Cuba. As you know, as we've discussed, tourists from all over the U.S. are descending on Cuba now. And as a result, Cuba has run out of beer. Yes, the island's the local beer it's dried up. The brewers cannot meet demand, and they are now signing deals to import millions and millions, tens of millions of cases of beer across the island to deal with this, which is just, I mean, the American stereotypes over there must be
Americans come in and we run out of beer. You could not concoct something more. I mean, the Starbucks are going in, so that's going to be the next thing, which is going to be incredibly noticeable. Yesterday, I was talking with a couple Argentinian friends, and we were all talking about how we'd really like to see Cuba before it becomes completely Americanized. And we basically agreed that 18 months seems to be the limit. We need to get there within the next 18 months, I think.
18 months seems short. I would say
there's already been some U.S. Hotel deals done that are going to go in force very soon.
That's true, but that's just a hotel.
Marriott or Hilton or whatever.
That's just a hotel. When it's when you have KFC and Taco Bell and Starbucks all over the place, yeah, I guess that can happen pretty quickly. But I wouldn't say 18 months. At this point, I would say 12? 3 years. I would say 3 years.
All right.
But yeah, a friend of ours, his father recently went there, and I was asking him about Cuba. He was there for quite a while. Really enjoyed it. But it didn't sound to me that he thought it was this incredible, life-changing experience, But he said he had a great time, and anyway, that it was interesting, and that his favorite part about it was talking with the people,
right?
Hearing what they had to say. So there it is. If there is a positive side to this American tourism takeover, perhaps there will be Americans who move to Cuba and start breweries,
right?
Microbreweries, and then people will be drinking the good stuff. Right?
That could be your next life, starting a microbrewery in Cuba.
I kind of wanted to start one in North Korea. So after I take it over, then maybe I will give all the people good beer, Dave. They've earned it. They really have.
The dream lives on.
Yes. All right. This is an incredible story coming to us from guns.com. But are you familiar with guns.com?
I am, yeah.
And your thoughts?
I think it's just a gun enthusiast website.
Well, this article is not so. A California suburb, a San Francisco suburb in California, of course, is they have a program where they are paying violent offenders to be peaceful.
Right.
All right. In a way, this is brilliant because money. Well, what's better than money? It's all about money. The program, known as Operation Peacemaker Fellowship, targets violent offenders, and over 10 years ago, this city, Richmond, or suburb, was ranked the 6th deadliest per capita in the country. Participants oftentimes are straight out of prison. They have to pledge to improve their lives and eventually mentor to others. People are paid anywhere from $1 to $1,000 on a monthly basis, up to $9,000 over 18 months. In addition to this monthly income, they have an allotted $10,000 to go towards funding trips to various destinations. There's a catch to these vacations. They must agree to take the trip with either someone they have attempted to kill or has attempted to kill them.
Wow.
Yes. And the program founder, Devon Bogan, said, wild, right? But they get out of there and they realize, hey, this cat's just like me. And it, according to this, these rivals who have traveled together have not been involved in shootings aimed at one another again.
Oh, well, that's good.
That's good. That is good. The program started in 2010, and there have been improvements, and this program is partially, anyway, to thank for that.
Who can deny getting some perspective will sometimes help people to break cycles that they're involved in sort of day to day. No surprise there.
Yeah. 5 years into the experiment, 84 to 88% of the participants were alive. The vast majority had not only not been shot, but have not been suspected in any other gun-related crimes. And so, if you were to say to a conservative,
right,
we're going to try this program where we're giving thousands of dollars and paying all expense paid trips to murderers or people who have attempted to murder others with guns, violent criminals, they would just shoot you on the spot.
Well, I don't know if they would shoot you, but we've talked about the programs where it's been figured out that if you give homeless people housing and health care, that the cost of that often works out to less money than if you consider all of the costs of having that person be homeless, including sometimes run-ins with police, including uninsured emergency room visits, including sometimes theft, including possible negative sort of impacts in the community more broadly, whatever, right? That it's actually cheaper just to give them housing and healthcare. I don't know that this program would come out to be so fiscally conservative broadly if applied to everybody who met the criteria. I think it's an interesting pilot program, and I think there's definitely something to it. But I'm not. I would want to see more numbers before I said, "Oh yeah, this just is financially viable, big time."
Yeah, and the number of participants too is some have been killed, of course.
Right.
2 of the 4 participants that have been killed over the last 5 years were believed to have been murdered by fellow program participants. And homicides have dropped since the program's induction. You can't just look at a whole suburb and point to this small program. But to an all-time low in 2014. But last year, those numbers doubled. So people are questioning whether or not this program actually works.
Yeah, it's a very interesting idea. But like I said, I don't know that the large-scale viability of it is necessarily clear from this little pilot project.
Yeah, it's a part of what can help, right? Something you need to attack from many angles.
Yeah.
Not just handing cash, but I do like the idea of it in some ways. So, and it's worth trying, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Anything to add?
Well, I'll just tell people we have a really good story from over the weekend, which we'll talk about. We just don't have time today. We'll talk about it tomorrow. We went to sushi with a host of the Benjamin Dixon show, Benjamin Dixon, and just a lot of funny stuff that I think people will enjoy. We'll tell the stories tomorrow.
All right. Yeah. It is a good one. A very funny one.
The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.